I am Maria Davis Pierre, CEO and founder of Autism in Black, and welcome to our 2025 Year in Review with questions asked by my husband, Dr. Barry Pierre.
All right, so let's get these questions started. Maria, when you look back at 2025, what word or even moment rises to the top for Autism in Black?
For me, two words really come to mind. The first word is community. If you have listened to any podcast, been to any event, you know that the word community is a reoccurring word that we use in Autism in Black. It is one of the foundational principles for us. So everything that we do is rooted in community because we know how important it is. The second one is resilience. 2025 has been tough for many, many reasons. But when I think about Autism in Black and how we have risen to the occasion every single time, I think of how resilient we have been as an organization.
All right, love the response. So, next question. This was a year of first. How did it feel, to bring Autism Black Conference in person for year 5?
The first feeling I had was a lot of anxiety. We've done everything, online, so virtual rather. So having that first in-person experience, it was a lot of anxiety going through my body. Even though that's what people have been asking for and wanting, anxiety was at an all-time high. But once we actually started it, it was like home, and the feeling of being around all of your friends and family, even though that was our first time seeing each other in person. So it started off kind of rocky for me, but once we got into it and actually had the event, it just felt like home.
So to follow up on that, tell me, what did you hear from the attendees who attended the event?
One, we heard nothing but good things, which was amazing. Not that we aren't open to constructive criticism, because we always are trying to make our events better for the next time. But we heard nothing but great feedback, hearing from parents who saw for their first time autistic adults on stage talking about their experiences. A lot of times I talk about how for parents, sometimes we can be so present focused that future can kind of be hard for us to imagine. And by those parents coming to our conference and seeing autistic adults speak about their experiences, see Dr. Carl and Dr. Sheena and the many other amazing speakers that we had, they were able to picture a future for their child because it wasn't so present focused for them. They had that representation, and representation matters. So we heard plenty of great things about how they didn't feel in isolation anymore. It was the community that they needed. Nothing but great positive feedback. So we're hoping to do it again in 2026.
All right, so obviously the conference gets a lot of your energy, a lot of attention, but this year you also hosted 3 different summits.
Yes.
One for Black boys, one for couples and co-parents, and one for Black girls and women.
Yes.
Why was it important to offer that level of specificity and care?
Going into 2025, we knew that we wanted to have our nonprofit foundation host a series of smaller summits that were very niche focused. With our main conference, we cover a lot in 3 days, but we know that having niche focused summits, parents could or professionals or autistic individuals could get a taste of what we do with Autism in Black, because all of our summits are free. But they also get that niche focus. So everything when we do the couples and co-parenting summit is about that co-parenting angle of what you can do to build those co-parenting relationships, to make it stronger, communication when raising your children, when it comes to our Black Girls, Women, and Mother Summit, which is my favorite summit, making sure that people know that we are not intersectionally invisible, and giving a lot of those topics that people deem taboo and don't want to talk about. So making sure we have those niche focus summits are so important, because we get to deep dive into those topics more so than when we have our main conference.
And then following up on that, in 2025, Autism in Black pushed deeper into policy, systems,
Yes.
and training.
Yes.
How are you helping institutions become more accountable?
With Autism in Black, accountability for a lot of organizations to do less harm to the Black disability community has always been something that we have geared towards. I think the shift for us, with us coming into the politics and the policies, was making sure our community knew who to trust with the information, because 2025 we had a lot of horrible information being distributed, the communities being autistic communities being talked about in a ill, negative manner. And I wanted to ensure our community, because we know that the Black community is the community that's often most harmed. I wanted to make sure our community knew that there was a trusted source, us, to come to for the right information. So I think that was kind of the shift and the pivot that we took into politics and policies. Also, opening up our ambassadors program. We now have Autism in Black ambassadors, where they will be helping us to make sure that the right information is being spread.
And kind of following up on that, this year you also brought your training to early childhood educators in Georgia.
Yes.
Through your Head Start initiative. Why is that work with the Head Start community and educators so urgent at this time?
I think it's so important. Shout out to the Hancock County Head Start, where we were at in July of 2025. It was a wonderful experience. Thank you for bringing me out there to train all your wonderful educators. I think it's so important, because we know that that is kind of the starting point for education for our children, right? And we want to make sure educators know how to approach an autistic individual, a Black autistic individual, their families, how to have these conversations. I think a lot of times Head Start is left out of conversations when they are like the starting point. I don't see a lot of PDs focus on professional developments. When I say PDs, focused on going in and giving them the trainings that they need. So shout out to the Hancock County. They came to our conference in April, loved what we were doing so much that they brought me to their education center to do that training. And it's so imperative that these trainings are happening, because we know that information to our community is not getting to us in a timely manner. So by us going in there and talking about how to have conversations about, oh, we think your child may be autistic. Oh, as an educator, what do I do when a parent comes to me and says, I think my child may be autistic? How do I set up a sensory friendly room? How do I make accommodations and modifications in how we're teaching? What should we do in this situation or that? So I think those kind of trainings are so imperative for our younger children.
And obviously, you're definitely a work for hire, so you definitely go and to many places across the country and do trainings. But this year, you actually started a YouTube series, Mindful Mondays with Maria, that launched this year. How has that space allowed you to pour into your community a little bit differently?
The Mindful Mondays is a little bit different than our podcast series. Usually with our podcast, we have guests on there talking about, their specialty and their focus. Our Mindful Mondays were kind of like our right news you could use, right? What's happening right now, and how can we get through it? So it was more of your present focus, happening in real-time news, a space where it's just me giving that 15 minutes of niche focused topics, something different for me that I have to get used to. I'm used to being on the end of more interviewing in these in this aspect, and more so it's just me doing quick little mindful moments about how we can make sure that we are best prepared to handle whatever's going on currently in the world.
So, before we get out of here, what are you planting now that you're gonna hope is gonna bloom for 2026?
2026, we have a lot in store for our autism in Black community. Of course, we have our 6th annual conference that's happening in person here in West Palm Beach, Florida, but also virtually for those who can't come to Palm Beach, Florida. We have more than 3 summits happening in 2026. So yes, we have our boys summit. Yes, we have our couples and co-parenting summit. Yes, we have our girls summit, but we're adding in an educator summit, some other surprises. We're doing in-person meet and greets for our South Florida area. We are having our Day on the Hill with our Autism in Black Ambassadors program. We have so much in store for 2026. Some research that I have been doing is probably finally going to come to the forefront in 2026, so we're excited about that. So we have planted a lot of seeds that will be blooming in 2026 that we are so excited about.
And last but not least, if someone just found out about Autism in Black today, what do you hope they feel?
Oh, goodness. If you are just finding out about Autism in Black today, I hope you feel that sense of community. I hope you feel at home. I hope you feel that you are not the only one experiencing this. I want you to feel seen. I want you to feel heard, no matter if you are an autistic individual like myself, no matter if you are raising autistic children like I am, or neurodivergent children like we are, or if you are a professional as well, like we are, trying to navigate that space. I want you to feel seen, heard, included, and as if your voice matters, because it does, especially to us here at Autism in Black. So that is what I hope you're feeling, and hopefully you check us out on some events, some podcasts, some blogs, and all that we have, and get comfortable with being in the Autism in Black community.
Well, again, thank you for an amazing year, if I say so myself. And I'm just excited for what 2026 will bring for not only yourself, but definitely Autism in Black community.
Thank you all for making 2025 so special for us, and we are looking forward to what's in store for 2026.